welcome back to the live streaming Community Voices Workshop brought to you by the Arts Engagement Department with the Old Globe. I'm your host, teaching artist and programs manager, Katie Haroff. With me, I have Gil Sotu and Mickey Vale, my assistant teaching artists and main Community Voices facilitators. Hey, how are you both doing today? How about you both give me a low and a high from your week? Gil, let's start with you. Share a low and a high.
Let's see. A low is, all what's going on and I'm not able to get out and play basketball like I usually do, which is therapy for me. And a high is that I got to team up with TEDx San Diego to create a piece in response to what's going on, and I'm excited to share that out with the world pretty soon.
How cool. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Hey Mickey, let's go over to you. Why don't you share a low and a high from your week?
A low would definitely be seeing people that I care about being really upset and dealing with a lot of heartache over this, and people that they know being sick and struggling with the whole coronavirus situation. A high would be being productive and getting a lot done during this time. It feels good.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for sharing. We always do check-ins with our participants because it's important to know where you're at whenever you're about to be creative. Your mood definitely impacts the work that you create. I think my low point for this week would be watching the final leftover weekend plans I had made a while ago just completely vanish. It's really tough. But my high point would be last Thursday's first ever online Community Voices broadcast. We got a lot of wonderful responses from folks that tuned in, and I'm just really excited to be here again and have the continued opportunity to be with so many people right now and provide some fun for a really weird moment in our lives. If you didn't have a moment to catch our previous workshop post, you can find it on our page a little further down. And about a half hour ago or so, I shared some materials for this workshop directly on our page. And if you haven't had a moment to grab those materials yet, go ahead and do so now and keep them handy. We'll try to make sure to remind you where you can find these things. And in the future, we'll also be sharing them in our event page. We just created a Community Voices Workshop live event page right on the Arts Engagement page, so make sure that you mark that you're going so you can get all notifications as they are posted there. At this point, in most of our Community Voices workshops, we would invite participants to play a game with us as a warm-up to get your creative brain activated. Since we can't physically be together to share a game right now, I thought it would be a good idea to instead do a little physical reset with all of you to help bring you into this present moment with me. I find myself constantly stuck in my head right now with the news and all of the terrifying things happening out there. Sometimes creative focus is understandably a big challenge. I always find that doing a quick body scan can help bring my brain back to focus on the moment at hand. So we're going to try to do that together now. So here's the instructions. First, find a comfortable seat, place both of your feet on the ground, and try to roll your shoulders back. You could do that a couple of times to find a good upright posture, as upright as you possibly can for this exercise. Now, take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and then release. Long and steady. Let's try that again. And let's go for a third time. And throughout this body scan, see if you can maintain this deep, connected breath as I guide you to focus on different parts of your body. Let's start at the very top of our heads. If you're comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes or use a soft focus. put your mind's eye at the very top of your skull and see if you can feel any sensations by allowing your focus to rest there. While you do that, continue to breathe. Now move your focus down to the back of your head and neck. As you check in with each location, see if you can feel the area as you pass it. Are you holding tension there? See if you can soften or release that tension with the help of your breath. Now let's move our focus to our face. Breathe deeply and see where you hold the tension in your face and release it. I hold so much tension in my jaw and my throat, especially with all of these Zoom meetings. My face is used a lot more right now, so see if you can relax yours. Let's continue the scan down to our shoulders and breathe to release the tension here. Take it down to your torso and to your belly, where we hold a lot of tension. Continue to breathe. Now let's put our mind's eye on our back, where we hold so much stress. Start in your upper back and bring your mind down to your lower. Breathe and release. And go ahead and put your mind's eye now down to your seat and your hips. We hold so much vulnerability in our hips. So see if you can breathe here and release the tension you're holding. And that naturally moves us down to our thighs, which I was just clenching. So I'm also going to participate in breathing. Let's check in with our knees. Send some oxygen to your knees, and then all the way down to your shins and calves. And finally, our feet. Take a moment in your feet and feel the floor beneath you. See if you can really put your mind's eye in every single one of your toes and relax and breathe. Now, go ahead and quickly scan your way all the way back up to the top of your head. Take one more deep, loving breath, and then open your eyes if they were closed. It might have felt a little silly. It's kind of silly to guide you in an empty room, but just take a moment and see how you feel. Hopefully a little more relaxed and a little more present. And this is a tool that you can use at any time that you're feeling very stressed or unfocused. Many people are in the business of mindfulness these days and how best to utilize it, but I find that a good body scan that allows me to take my brain back from the cycle of anxiety or any distraction that takes me away from my creative work, it's good. I hope that helped all of you. Okay. We're going to go over our first handout for today. If you could open up the Who Am I Today questionnaire. Usually in our workshops, participants would have some time to write and we would share massively and really kind of dig deep into this. However, we're a little limited in how we can share things. So I'm going to just take some time to discuss this handout and reflect on it with Gil and Mickey. This Who Am I Today questionnaire is a prompt, and I asked you all last week, what do I care enough in my life to put on a stage? This questionnaire is intended to help you organize your thoughts on that matter a little more deeply. You'll notice the title of the questionnaire is not just Who Am I, and that instead we focus on the you of today. I find a lot of folks get hung up on defining themselves for these exercises, so just don't. We are constantly changing, so let's work with the version of today you for this. And feel free to check back into this questionnaire whenever you need to refresh this connection to yourself. If you have the file open, great, you'll see the questions. If you can't open it, that's okay. You can jot down the questions as I read them to you now. They are: what was your life like yesterday? How did you feel when you woke up this morning? What do you want most out of life today? What inspires and motivates you? And then finally, what are your personal values and priorities? Now, these questions may feel a little personal, but they're just for you. I find that if I kick things off with writers by taking the time to allow them to reconnect to their core values, even if those are ever changing, that we can find the real messages and inevitably the kind of stories that we'd like to explore passionately through a play. To give you an example, I had both Mickey and Gil fill out their own version of this questionnaire, and we'll have a little conversation about what kind of plays may be inspired by this version of themselves today. And I hope this discussion with these two fabulous artists can help you reflect on your own personal check-in as a resource for creative inspiration. So, Mickey, let's start with you. Why don't you pick your favorite answer on the questionnaire and let us know what that question is and what your answer for it was.
Number 4, what inspires and motivates me. I'm very inspired by nature. I'm also inspired by artists, art, and passion. The passion behind the art, or what inspires somebody to create something, anything, from the smallest little, anything that can be created. I'm always very fascinated by what was the mindset, what did the person feel in that moment, why did that person feel necessary to give their energy to that, to creating that. So I'm really inspired by that.
So you're interested in the motivation behind creative expression.
Yeah.
Cool. What kind of play might you explore from that perspective today? Did anything come up, or any ideas of things that you could potentially write?
Kind of, a little bit. I'm really interested in investigating the transference of energy between not just people, but people and objects. The energy that someone used to create this glass, for instance. What was that? What was it in that moment? What was happening in their life in that moment? And so I was thinking, maybe, since I'm a big thrift shopper, maybe someone finds some piece of a little piece of art, maybe a woodwork, something that someone created, and no one else finds it interesting, but this person, this main character, finds something about it that attracts them to it, and they bring it home, and something about the energy from that object affects their life, and maybe they go through the same thing that the person who created it went through, or something like that, but something just exploring that transference of energy.
That's so cool. And that's such a interesting creative idea that just came from this little reflective prompt. I want you to write that piece. It sounds like a fabulous play. And as artists, some of this discussion feels a little meta because we're always being creative, and now I'm asking you to write a prompt about what you might be creative about, and you're exploring art through art on top of art, which is so cool. But you could see how a little idea can spark a whole new world, a whole new avenue in which to embark upon for your playwriting adventures. Gil, let's go to yours. Did you have a specific answer that you really liked that you wouldn't mind sharing? And what question was it?
What question really spoke to me was question number 5. What is your personal values and priorities? And it was funny because I just recently created a mission statement for my life. Like, no matter what project I'm working on, no matter what job I'm doing, what's this mission statement that I want to bring to the world and for myself, so I stay focused. And the mission statement is, my mission is to be a bridge to connect people, ideas, and various forms of creative expression for the enhancement of the human spirit. So that's the one that really spoke to me.
That's fabulous. And I'm certain you've already started to think about this, but What kind of art comes from that inspiration in you?
What kind of art comes from that?
What do you decide to explore with that motivation?
In a play or just in general?
In general.
Oh man, just whenever I receive a project or get commissioned for a project, I think, how can I make it the most eclectic, involved, like some of the most talented people I know, to where it doesn't feel like the same thing, And so, one of my superpowers is just knowing really dope people who are talented, such as yourself and Mickey, to bring together for projects. And it's good for them, good for the artists, because they get to collaborate with people they don't normally get to collaborate with. And it's good for the community too, to see things brought together that maybe, or themes or ideas brought together that they may have never seen before. And
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes where your play inspiration comes from are the people that are around you, which is a really great resource as well. Theater and the act of performing theater is enormously collaborative. So creating opportunities for the people in your life, or even just looking at your friends and family as inspiration, is a fabulous place to start. And likely a lot of you are already inspired by these people, and we'll continue to help you to formulate those ideas. Now, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. Thank you both again for sharing and chatting with me. I hope that you all will take the time to fill out this questionnaire after this workshop is complete. But now, just as we did a little bit last week, I'm going to continue to share and discuss plays with you. We are sharing 2 different plays today. Both of these pieces came from my Advanced Community Voices workshop last year, and we are very fortunate to have the recordings of these pieces from the Globe's New Voices Festival this past January. We will watch each piece and then have a discussion about the works inspired by the Who Am I Today Questionnaire, and examine each playwright's personal intention behind their pieces. This discussion is to continue to inspire you to find your own personal playwriting mission, and to continue to provide you with examples of what can really make up a structured 10-minute play. First, we're going to share Thelma Virata de Castro's piece, Pussycats. This presentation features performances by Brian Barberin, Chris Cruz, Chris Bona, and Jake Milgard on stage directions. Enjoy.
Thelma wrote this play because she was interested in men. What they talk about, what they feel, what's important to them. But she wanted to put these men in one of the least respected positions in our society. Someone who stays home to take care of their kids. Pussycats by Thelma Virata de Castro. Characters: TJ, dad, primary caregiver, black, late 30s, straight, married to Pamela, black woman, 4 daughters, former Marine, a big man, but his body has seen better days. Ryan, dad, primary caregiver, Filipino, mid-30s, gay, married to Joshua, white man, one adopted son who is multiracial but looks black, devoted father. Diego, dad, works at home as a software engineer but has help, including a nanny and nearby relatives. Mexican-American, barely 30, straight, married to Claudia, Mexican-American woman. Diego is sweet, but simple. Setting: an urban park mid-morning during the work week. October. There are 2 benches near each other. They face the unseen playground. At Rise, Diego stands center, keeping an eye on the kids on the unseen playground. TJ enters pushing a stroller with his 6-month-old daughter Titi inside. We never see Titi, but the characters interact and speak with her. Note, the characters avoid using profanity around the children by substituting similar words. These substitute words are in italics.
TJ! You made it! Cassandra and Rashawn have been waiting for TK.
Man, I would have been here earlier, but we had a blowout.
Oh my God! Are you okay?
Yeah, just had a change up.
Oh, I thought you meant...
Where's Ryan?
He's on the phone. I've been watching the kids.
Oh, yeah, they acting up?
No, they're fine.
Hey, Cassandra just took TK's hat. She's wearing it!
Is that a problem?
Lice!
Oh! Claudia would kill me if Cassandra came home with lice.
You saying TK has them?
No, no.
Yeah, because she doesn't, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Sorry. Cassandra, honey, we don't want to share cooties. Give TK back her hat. Wait, don't run away, come back!
Runs after them, exits. Unseen by TJ, Ryan enters. He is distraught. He holds his cell phone. As he puts it in his pocket, he hears what TJ is saying to TT.
Look at that funny Mr. Diego. He is such a little pussy.
Language.
Cat? Pussycats?
So rude and sexist.
Look, man, I'm just talking to my kid. Pam keeps nagging me to talk to the baby.
You are going to grow up to be a strong woman in spite of your daddy. Yes, you are. Pam said she wants more pictures of the kids.
Is she my wife or yours?
You should get on Instagram.
Puts his phone away, sits on bench.
What's wrong with you?
Rough night.
Yeah, this one too, but I let her cry it out.
Oh, that's barbaric.
She's gotta learn.
Pam would never let that happen.
Pam is asleep in a hotel room across the country, right? I wish someone would send me on a business trip. Man, she lucky I didn't call and put TT on speaker.
Just let TT sleep with you. When Rashawn was a baby, that's what Joshua and I did. We knew we had sleep issues when we adopted him. He still sleeps with us whenever he wants.
No comments.
If TT cries, pick her up, especially with Pam traveling so much. Attachment parenting.
Oh, my girls are attached. Man, this baby's number 4 to me. I think I know what I'm doing. They know who's boss.
Fear is never effective.
Tell that to God.
I got the hat!
The hat is dirty and crushed.
What happened?
The kids climbed into the tree and threw it down.
Tries to brush off the dirt, puts hat on a bench next to TJ.
Hey, get out of that tree! Man, I ain't got time to go to the emergency room today.
Hey, Ryan. Everything okay? Did you tell TJ?
Tell me what?
Nothing.
Anybody have snacks? The kids said they're hungry. Sorry, I didn't pack anything.
Ryan gets out a bag of organic bunny crackers from his bag. TJ gets out a box of granola bars. Diego takes both.
Thanks.
Sanitizer.
Right.
Hey, don't you know it's rude to keep secrets from others?
I had a private conversation with Diego before you got here.
Now, what can you say to him that you can't say to me?
You and I have different values, TJ.
And so what? You know what I'm about? The 3 F's. Faith, family, football. You the one who's not open-minded, man. Rashad should be playing football.
He's 4.
Man, he could be on the flag football team next year.
Is he my son or yours?
Look, check it out.
Gets up, grabs a football from the stroller basket. As he calls to Rashawn on the playground, Ryan takes over feeding TT.
Hey, yo, bro. Going for a pass.
Throws the football to him, offstage. Rashawn catches it like a superstar.
Oh, look at that catch, man. That boy's a natural.
Rashi, bring the ball back.
Look, admit it. He loved that Pop Warner game you went to, man. He's a young black boy. You can't deprive him of football.
It's a dying sport. Think of the health consequences.
Well, I played football.
Case in point.
It saved my life. Man, the discipline, the brotherhood.
The violence, hypermasculinity, toxic masculinity.
Didn't you like anything about the game?
Well, I like the cheers. Especially when the team was in a circle at the beginning and one of them yelled, "Who got my back?" And the rest of them yelled, "I got your back!" And I like the nachos. Are you done eating, baby girl?
Ryan puts away the food and TJ goes back to the stroller. He rocks it back and forth for TT to fall asleep. TJ and Ryan speak more quietly.
Boys need to be physical. Man, Rashad's a great athlete, and he wants to play football.
I am signing him up for gymnastics.
Who gave you that idea, Diego?
Yes, Cassandra's in gymnastics, and she loves it.
Rashad shouldn't be playing with girls so much.
This is exactly why I can't talk to you.
Oh, but you can talk to Diego? Or because he says yes to you. He's just a little yes man. He's like a dog.
I got the ball!
You know, there is something to be said about loyalty.
Oh, I know you're not trying to school me. I was a Marine.
You don't even consider us your friends. We're not even a play group to you.
I'm not part of any group. I just take my kids to the park. You're the one who got booted from that mommy's club over there.
He points to the neighborhood play group on the other side of the park.
Everything okay, guys?
I left of my own free will. I refused to conform to their heteronormative agenda. They all marched in their women's march with their strollers and pussy hats.
Hey, Pussycats!
In their hats. And all those feminist white women didn't know what to do with me, and neither do you.
Look, our kids play together. I can't help it if they're friends.
Why should I confide in you? You don't even consider me a friend. You have intimacy issues.
Excuse me? I have 4 kids.
That means you don't like to talk about your feelings.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. What have you and Pam been talking about?
You know we can all talk about football all day long, but what about the stuff that really matters?
You know what? Fudge this. Tell me a secret I don't, but honestly, it don't matter to me. Talk to the baby, talk to the hat, I don't care.
After the silence, trying to make peace, offers to each one
Granola bar.
TJ and Ryan ignore him. Diego sits and eats a granola bar himself.
I'm sorry. I've been on the phone all morning. I'm trying to find Joshua a therapist who will take our health insurance. He finally told me what's been going on with him. He's been depressed. He's been covering up, but he gets triggered by every Me Too story in the news. He's been having memories. We've been together since we were teenagers. I thought I knew everything there was to know about my husband. How can I not know this?
Damn.
Don't say another word, TJ.
1 in 6.
What does that even mean?
1 in 6 men sexually abused, assaulted. So Joshua ain't special, but he ain't alone.
So, if we each had a twin brother, and we were all standing right here, that would mean that 1 in 6 of us. Yeah.
Look, I got a book. I'll bring it to you tomorrow.
Thanks. Who got my back? Who got my back?
No, we're not doing this.
Who got my back?
Man, will you shut the frick up? The mommy's still looking.
Who got my back?
I got your frickin' back, pussycat! Now shut the frick up!
I got your back too.
I got your back!
Man, that's some bullshit. Hey, keep an eye on TT. Yeah,
Ref
bro.
calls to Rashawn.
Hey, I got you.
Throws him the ball. Diego and Ryan watch Rashawn make the perfect catch. TJ exits the playground. Ryan sits on bench next to TT and gently rocks her stroller. End of play.
Piece. Oh, what a joy to see it again. It was like I was back at that wonderful night. Um, like I mentioned, we're going to have a little conversation about these pieces, myself and Gil and Mickey, inspired by the Who Am I Today questionnaire. So let's start with Gil. Gil, what kind of personal values did you see the playwright explore through this piece?
Personal values. Really about the importance of communication and not if you're going through something, not being afraid to like share it with people who are close to you, because some people just because people don't have the credentials, they may have something that can help you. You just never know, or sometimes you just need to know that someone has your back. I just want to point out that you can already tell that those fathers loved each other, because husbands don't communicate that much unless there's a lot of love. I'm a father. I've been around a lot of daddies. The moms talk, the dads just kind of sit around and watch everything. So you could tell there's a lot of love there.
Maybe part of it was the hope that fathers could have more of these conversations in the future,
right?
too. Mickey, who do you think Thelma wants to share these ideas with, or this piece with?
I think it's a universal message, but I think parents, maybe fathers in particular, yeah, I think maybe fathers in particular, just to show that, like Gil said, there's a commonality. You can open up to people. It's okay to open up and share what you're going through with other people. And I think sometimes men might, that might be a little more difficult for men. Like Gil was saying, that fathers don't really talk like that so much. So maybe fathers.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely encouraging of open dialogue, that no matter their differences, that being there for each other is what matters. And theater can be used as a really incredible tool in both creating community and promoting change. And I just love this piece. And I just am so grateful to Thelma for allowing us to share it and discuss it in our workshop today. We're going to move on to our second piece of the day, which is also from that same evening of readings and is by the incredible Andrea Agosto, a local celebrity in her own right. It is titled Code Switchin' is Conscious, and it features the performances of Jada Owens, Brian Barberin, Natalia Quintero Riestra, Veronica Burgess, and Jake Milgard, once again on stage directions. Enjoy.
Andrea lives in her head. She is constantly at odds with herself and sometimes her culture, depending on the social situation. She overthinks how she's presenting herself and freezes like a computer with bad Wi-Fi and all the viruses. So for this piece, she was like, I bet I can make a play about the place in my head. Code Switchin' is Conscious by Andrea Agosto. Characters: Leilani, Afro-Latina, 20s to 30s, underpaid, overworked, bilingual teacher. Mrs. Hernandez, Hispanic, 30s to 40s, a parent. Lanita, 20s to 30s, Leilani's Latina cultural conscience. Invisible to all but heard by Leilani. Nini, Black, 20s to 30s, Leilani's Black cultural conscience. Oh. Invisible to all but definitely heard by Leilani. Nini is pronounced Nini. That's right. Setting: a middle school English classroom. Grateful handwritten notes are on the bulletin board next to the desk. Loose leaf paper, broken pencils, hot Cheeto dust, and the ghosts of sunflower seeds adorn the floor. Some desks are as their students, and the teacher barely hanging on. Leilani Calderon, stressed out, hurriedly picks up the room. A knock is heard. She has radio edit trap music playing lightly.
Coming.
Leilani rushes to the door and in barges Mrs. Hernandez.
Mrs. Hernandez, thank you for coming.
Yeah, well, Anka's missing class all of a sudden.
That's exactly what I would like.
I'm sorry. This music is a little distracting. I can't focus if I'm trying not to dance, you know?
Oh, my apologies.
Leilani turns off the music. Nini, Leilani's black cultural conscious, enters, looking glamorous, natural, with the right amount of tumbayo, in short, queenly AF, with an annoyed expression.
Thanks. My boys play that music at home, and then it turns into this little thugged out dance party.
Ooh, and what does she mean by that?
Leilani shakes her head almost as if to push Nini out of her mind.
You don't have the power to make us move. I do the same thing whenever I hear Selena.
Yeah, but what about that trap music makes it a thugged out dance party, huh? I'm just trying to understand.
My little girls love Selena Gomez, too.
Enter Lanita. Leilani's Latina cultural conscious enters with curls down to there after a slayed and laid with all the sazon in the world and sits on a desk next to Leilani.
Oh, I was talking about the Queen Tejano, Selena Quintanilla.
Wow. I'm surprised you know who that is.
And why is she surprised? Your last name is Calderón, por amor de Dios. ¿Qué tipo de sorpresa esa?
Sorry. I just think I need some water.
All right, we're gonna head out since y'all don't want to deal with your bullshit.
I really do appreciate you coming, Mrs. Hernandez. For the sake of the class and other parents' wishes, I have had to place Angel on in-school suspension. In order for him to return to class, we need...
I'm just really surprised. He's never had a problem before you were his teacher, and he's never had a teacher like you.
Oh, what the hell that's
That is always the...
Well, hasn't been focusing on his work lately. He's been up playing around. Yesterday, he threw a bottle of hand sanitizer.
And?
Well, that's just unacceptable behavior for the middle school classroom. Especially because when he threw the bottle of hand sanitizer, it opened and got in the eyes and hair of 1/3 of the classroom. I shop at Castro, so, you know, a lot of hand sanitizer, a lot of eyes, a lot of girls upset about their hair.
Oh, but everybody was sanitized. It kills like 99.9% of germs, so as far as I see it, my little Angelito, he did everybody a favor.
Her little Angelito es un pendejito.
There are no sinks nearby, so I had to rush them to the science building. But he's also, he's not playing, he's not been behaving around the girls.
Oh, you mean the girls haven't been behaving around my son?
No. Actually, Angel behaved inappropriately with a female student.
Listen, Mommy, just tell her son is going to turn out to be a sex offender before you know whoever did it.
This behavior has caused some concerns for the parents of the other students.
Okay, well, not my son. It was probably her that was doing something, and then she tried to blame it on him. You know, it happens all the time. I raised a good boy.
I understand that it is difficult to hear, but after the hand sanitizer incident, he moved on to touch a student's
Nalgas.
posterior.
He didn't. No, he wouldn't.
Well, there is footage.
Nini and Lanita enter with popcorn. Leilani opens her laptop and sends it to Mrs. Hernandez. The camera shows a boy throwing a huge bottle of hand sanitizer, chaos, and him grabbing a blinded victim's rear end. He even looks at the camera and mouths the word, cakes.
What's so funny?
No, I need some support with Echo. I have tried a few different techniques. I have tried rewards and incentives. He mentioned he liked tajin and takis. I even tried to incorporate more Spanish in my lessons.
Wait, what?
I incorporated Spanish. Many of my students learn Spanish first or feel more confident expressing themselves in Spanish, so
Look, I know that, you know, you teachers come here with the best intentions, but that's not really necessary.
well, it's beneficial for everyone in my class, so
so...
Why are you even trying to speak Spanish in the first place? I mean, can't rap be enough?
Ooh, and what does that mean?
Well, I mean, you should stick to your strengths. You know, leave Spanish for the people who speak it.
Yo puedo hablar español, puñeta.
Ma'am, not that it's any of your business, but I grew up speaking Spanish.
Watching Dora doesn't count.
Oh, shit. Oh, we're really going here. Hold up.
Miss Mendez, the point
I mean, it's okay to be black. You know, most people would love to be black.
I know this bitch did.
Mrs. Hernandez, while
You know, I'm surprised that you, a black, would even think about speaking Spanish.
my God.
I am Afro-Latina, but my identity is not up for debate. We're here to discuss Angel.
Afro-Latina, is that even a real thing?
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
Lanita smooths out her brows and is ready to tell Miss Hernandez all the way off. She sucks her teeth and touches Leilani's shoulder and assumes control, which jolts through both of them. Leilani mouths the words as Lanita speaks them.
Mira, señora Hernandez, not that I have to prove my ethnicity, but as a teacher, it's muy importante para mí that I educate you.
Educate her.
See, I come from a place that recognizes its roots, sus raíces, as Spanish, Taino, and African.
Oh, see, you make it seem like Indios, Negroes, and Blancos all one big, happy Latin American.
Nini reaches out, touches Leilani's other shoulder, and controls Leilani.
Let me tell you something. All people must have nothing to clutch onto except the identity of our colonizers, and it's Latinos who love the erasure of black people who help build their empires, reinforce racism globally.
Lalita reaches out, touches Leilani's other shoulder, and they co-pilot her.
Globalmente. Hell, Mexico only started considering counting black people in their census in 2016.
Never mind the fact that the Atlantic slave trade dropped by there, the Caribbean, Latin America.
Y los Estados Unidos. Es parte de nuestra obligación y un gran honor que deberíamos luchar por los derechos y la dignidad de nuestra gente negra. Without Afro-Latinos.
There'll be no Victoria Santa Cruz.
No Pinito Más.
No Cardi B. No Celia Cruz.
Ay, imagínate. Estamos aquí y yo soy Afro-Latina para que tú lo sepas.
Bilingual mic drop.
Girl, you just made us say that dumb shit.
Oh, my bad.
You were really onto something on that last part.
Mrs. Hernandez, I'm not sure what came over me.
You don't have to apologize.
Oh, I'm not apologizing. I mean every word. We just need to finish discussing Angel. I will be suspending him from my class for a week. This video is implicating enough, and don't be surprised if he's suspended or expelled from the school for this behavior.
Wow. So this is much more serious than I thought.
Well, I may have said more than necessary. But your son really needs to understand that his actions have consequences.
I agree. I've been having issues with him at home too, and I just don't want you to think that I'm a bad mom. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by what I said, and I'm very sorry if I offended you. But I get where you're coming from with Angel. He's been acting more and more like his cheating father. Like women are things, and they think that no means no, and then stop breaking my heart means to put me in unbearable emotional pain. All that, you know.
I'm sorry for that.
Thanks.
Mrs. Hernandez gets up to leave and walks toward the door. Leilani follows her.
Before I forget, do you have Angel's brother?
Damien,
Yeah.
I do.
How's he doing?
No problems with him at all. He's an angel.
At least one of them is. He's the one that's more like me. I think. I hope. He's grounded indefinitely, and I'm gonna be stocking up on those chanclas. You know, this rebellious phase is getting out of hand.
Exit Mrs. Hernandez. Leilani lets out a sigh as though she's just gone through a bit of emotional warfare.
That was rough.
But necessary.
The two pause and watch Leilani clean up her classroom.
So are we just gonna skip over the fact that she said what I wanted her to say without me controlling her?
Girl, I was like, what? No me digas que eso está pasando.
The two walk around, hyping each other up, shouting, yes, finally we did it. All kinds of furniture, knees stop.
You know what we should do?
Have
a classroom party dance party!
Leilani is cleaning unbothered.
I think we gotta do this together.
How? Pray to the spirits of the traperos or the reggaeton gods?
Bitch, no. Teamwork.
Diamond District in the jazz.
You know I like it like that.
Leilani continues cleaning.
Certified, you know I'm gang.
You know I like it like that.
Drop the top and blow the brain. Oh, he's so handsome. What's his name?
You know I like it like that.
The three dance, a mixture of salsa, twerking, Millie rocking, and Lane teacher flossing as they continue the song and keep cleaning up the mess. End of play.
Hooray! It just reminds me of a wonderful time where we can sit in a room and watch theater together. I also didn't realize there was hand sanitizer references in both of those pieces. Very topical now. But let's go ahead and talk about Andrea's wonderful piece. Loved seeing it again. Mickey, what kind of messages did you feel Andrea wanted to explore in this piece, or what are some of her values that you learned?
Messages, definitely not to judge a book by its cover, or if you do, you might get gathered up and put in your place real quick. And also, I love it so much. The internal struggle of code switching, how frustrating it feels to suppress parts of yourself in order to appease someone else's somewhat narrow view. And values, definitely pride in her cultures, plural, and embracing all parts of her identity.
Yeah. I love this piece for today's discussion because you could definitely feel a very strong connection to perspective through the playwright. Gil, would you add anything to that, or where do you feel that she successfully explored these ideas in the piece?
I feel she successfully explored it because each one of her subconsciouses had its own personality, which was wonderful. And you could tell Andrea is an actor because she made it really fun for the actors on stage. You know, like they had a pretty extended dance break. And I know that as an actor, she was like, let me help out my fellow thespians. But yes, by giving each voice a distinct voice, you know, even though it was in the same head. Also really by showing and not telling the internal struggle of what's going on in the mind. And like it could have been a very telly kind of thing, but she really showed with the different personalities and how they reacted to certain just statements where who the antagonist thought was just normal things, you know?
Absolutely. This was a really great example of putting something that you consider enormously valuable on the platform of theater. And I agree. What a fun performance for the actors to dive into. And I just want to send another huge thanks to Andrea Agosto for sharing this fabulous script with us today. We love it. What a fun little moment in our workshop today. And a big thanks to the featured actors from that January performance. It's wonderful to see your energy again. Now, I hope you enjoyed those performances today. We'll share a couple more scripts with you just to continue to help you brainstorm your own ideas and your own pieces. I'm going to take a moment right now to go over our homework, our first real homework assignment for Thursday. Now, homework is for me, homework is always very personal. A lot of these things I'm not going to ask to collect from you, though I will invite you to share things with me. It's it's for you. The homework is an opportunity for you to take a step forward into your playwriting journey with us along the way. So if you don't finish this for whatever in the next week, you're still welcome at this workshop, and you'll still gain a lot, and you'll still be able to follow along. But I am encouraging you to do your homework. If you could just go ahead and open up the personal character description. This handout, along with the Who Am I Today questionnaire, this is going to be it for this week. And both of these pieces are intended to continue to help you with that internal brainstorm for the development of your new piece. My real goal is to give you so many ideas to explore and so many resources to explore these ideas that by the time we're ready to have you start developing your new work, you will be beyond ready to get started. So this personal character description handout goes a little deeper into utilizing your personal story as inspiration for your new play, and it encourages for you to place yourself as one of the main characters. If for your actual piece you decide not to tell a personal story, that is totally okay. This will just be an exercise in writing a thoughtful character description, just like the ones you heard in the readings today. I'm going to go over this worksheet with you on my handy dandy laptop right here. So if you don't have it open, that's okay. If you have trouble utilizing the handouts, you're welcome to just look at them and write down notes on a separate piece of paper or type out notes on a separate piece of paper. All that's good. So the instructions on this worksheet say, take a moment to write a personal character description for yourself as though you are the main character in the play. A character description should include all important physical or emotional elements of who this person in the play needs to be. Most theater makers utilize these descriptions to find the right actor to cast in this part. So make sure to really describe all of the elements that are important in filling this part. So this is really an opportunity for you to have a say in what kind of actor is cast in your play. And to give you an example of one, I did type up my own. It is part of this handout, so you could use it as reference. And I'll read it to you now. Katie is a mid-30s female and a happy-go-lucky artist type that spends her days trying to make theater matter to more people and her nights writing and rehearsing scripts. She is the very definition of a theater nerd. She wears her hair short and can't be too bothered by too much makeup or sparkles, though she is known to doll it up if need be. She can get a little too excited when talking about things she's passionate about, and her right armpit sweats when she's nervous. And that's mine, and then I invite you to write your own. So feel free if you have, if you want to send me your personal character descriptions this week, you can email me at kharoff@theoldglobe.org. And I or one of my teaching artists will send you feedback directly. I want to just take a moment now and to check in with anyone who might have any questions about this worksheet or anything that they saw today. You can go ahead and take this time now to ask me any questions if you have them, and I can answer them right now in the real world. I do want to take a moment and say hi to some of the people that have said hi to me. Oh, I guess we had a little troubleshooting with our sound in the second video. Thank you to participants that gave us a heads up so that we could try to adjust things. This is still a brave new digital world for us, for us theater makers moving to the online world. I also want to say hi to some people that have said hi to me. Hi, Leticia. Hi, Andrea and Thelma and Veronica and Thank you all so much. Oop, there's some folks that are wondering where the worksheets are. Where do I find these worksheets? Well, friends, they are posted lower on our page. We did post them just directly on our page today. They are also in the comment section of this video. So if you're watching me, you can just look down a little bit. It is a pinned comment at the top. You can find those worksheets. I've got another question here. If you've got ideas for a character, should you write their description as well? You're welcome to. This exercise is utilizing yourself for this purpose. We will be moving step by step forward into the land of you starting your actual play and diving into it. So this is an opportunity just to explore yourself as a character description, but if you're eager, which it seems like you might be, feel free to jump into describing a new character. And if you'd like to share that with me, you are absolutely welcome to at that email that I provided in this workshop today. And that is again kharoff@theoldglobe.org. I can't wait to read the things that you send me, either this workshop or later on. Well, it seems like that's all of our questions for today. I want to continue to encourage you all to ask me questions during this workshop or email them to me if that is more comfortable for you. Both options are good. Oh no, I got another question. One more question. One moment as I read this question. Exactly how do you differentiate between your personal values and priorities / what inspires and motivates you? Well, that's a really good question. I think that they definitely have some crossover there. I think when I personally think of values and priorities, I think of things in my life like my family. I think of the essentials in my life that I want to make sure are on the top of my list that I'm checking in on. And what inspires and motivates me is not always the same. Sometimes I am inspired and motivated by nature. Sometimes I'm inspired and motivated by other artists and other creative types that drive me to be creative on my own. So it's really more of an opportunity to think of both of those pockets, but it's totally understandable if they bleed into each other. My family and my friends inspire and motivate me as well, and they are very personally valuable and a priority to me. So it's just an expansive dissection of what really matters to you. But thank you so much for that question. And thank you again to everyone that's saying thank you to me. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And absolutely feel free to share this video with anybody that you think might need it. As soon as this live feed is over, these videos will just live on our page for people to check in on later, and they're here for you to reference ongoingly. But that's going to be it for this workshop today. Again, feel free to email me any additional questions directly, and I'll see you at our next workshop on Thursday at 3 p.m. However, if you are excited or interested in learning about the great world of behind the scenes of what goes into a production from the technical side of things, tomorrow, also at 3 o'clock, my wonderful colleague, Laura Zablit, will be hosting a behind the curtain workshop. So you get it from all angles at the Globe. You get to write, you get to figure out how to design, and we're here for you, providing you with some fun content during a not so fun time. Well, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you have a really great time with the handouts, the Who Am I Today worksheet, and the personal character description prompt. Happy writing, friends. I'll see you on Thursday.